Hello Libra, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, it doesn't cost you anything. And if there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. All right. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we've got a Two of Swords. This might be talking about a decision that you're trying to make, or more than that, a direction that you're trying to decide on, right? Which way to go, right? Kind of left or right, kind of a bit of a crossroads here. We're going to put this into some context, though, and see what you might be choosing. There's a Ten of Wands. There's the Fool energy. Interesting. Okay, Two of Pentacles, the Magician or the Hermit. Interesting. I'm already feeling like there's a couple of different options here for you, you know. Six of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Four of Wands, and the Knight of Wands. This is pretty interesting. There are a lot of moving cards here, right? A lot of cards of kind of that are taking trips, right? We've got even the Fool and the Chariot here. We've got the Hermit and the Magician. They're both doing their thing, but they kind of move in different directions, right? Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot, and we're just going to set this aside. We're going to put Jimbo, the Lizard King, right there on top, aka Mr. Lizard. And we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together, right? It will give us the confirmation that we need. And if at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments, all right? Let's do it together. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. I hope you'll play along. Anyway, let's look at these cards. Major, 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 major. Right? We have a lot of major arcana cards, and it sort of feels like each one is a different direction, right? I think really it's a combination that we've got to go 2 by 2 here, you know. It's either the Fool is teaming up with the Hermit, or the Fool is teaming up with the Chariot. And it's either the Magician here is either teaming up with the Hermit or with the Chariot. So it's kind of, we got to pick one of these and then pick a direction for these. We have a little bit of fire energy, actually quite a bit. Quite a bit of fire energy, which I think this is very good fire energy, very creative, very active. To me, it shows that you really want to go all in on something. Right? No half measures, no temporary things. You're looking for something permanent. The only air is, of course, that the Two of Swords right there in the center. No real water energy. That might be what's kind of missing here. A little bit of water in this Chariot, because this is the Cancer power card. So there's some water energy implied here. And then, of course, we've got our earth energies in these two positions, a 2 and a 6. This is, you know, you're going to be very happy, right? You're going to make the right decision, and that decision is going to lead to your greatest kind of success and resonance and harmony. But what direction are you choosing? That, I think, is the question. The Two of Swords here very often is about decisions. It's about feeling as if your life is at a crossroads, right? Which way do I go? Which way is going to lead me to my best energy here, my Six of Pentacles, from which you can then create a lot more. You know, which one is going to be the right path for you in order to set the rest of your life in motion, you know. So it could be that there is a very specific choice on the table for you right now. And it might be a choice that is asking you to commit fully to something, right? Up to level 10. As my daughter would say, she'll hold up 10 of her fingers and say, "Are we going to do it this much?" Meaning like maximum effort, right? Maximum fun, the most that it could possibly be, right? It's all the fingers here. So we got the 10 of wands. So I think you are looking at something that is going to be a full commitment. Now, maybe it's a different job, maybe it's a different relationship, maybe it's a different house, a different career, different field of study, a different spiritual practice, something else that you're trying to learn. You got that magician up there. Magician's always trying to learn new tricks, right? So there is something big going on for you, and I think it's going to take all of your effort to commit to this. Now, the idea that we have here is that maybe this isn't what you have to decide on and commit to now is not the permanent thing. It's going to lead us to our best energy and give us the best opportunity to then pursue the rest of our life, the rest of our growth, right? So this could be literally a temporary job. It could be a stepping stone type of position. It could be learning that new skill, right? Maybe you're trying to get certified in something because of this magician card, always trying to learn new tricks. Maybe you are studying something or you're considering entering into something 10 of Wands style, right? Full time. Could be that you're learning Reiki. It could be that you're learning acupuncture or some sort of, I feel something that's dealing with the energetic flow in other people, right? And I think that maybe that's the difficulty is committing to something kind of full-time in that manner, especially when, first of all, we've got the Fool energy opposing that. See, the magician is very focused. The magician knows, okay, this is going to take, let's say, a month, maybe 6 months, maybe a year, a very intense study. The Fool says, I don't want to do anything. Or rather, the Fool says, I want to do everything. Right? The Fool is one of these energies that are sometimes a little bit inconsiderate because they cannot commit. You can't pin them down. This is an energy that doesn't want to make plans. Wants to just live kind of in the spur of the moment. Yeah. And these are two very opposing energies for you. So it's kind of this idea, do you go walk about for a year, or do you commit to this this home, this lease, this contract, this course of study, this relationship? Do you commit to that for, well, I don't know how long. Maybe it is a 1 year, maybe it is a 2-year commitment. But these are very opposing views here. And the one option, I guess, with the Hermit here in the future position is to not do any of it, right? The Hermit maybe needs some time to perform a little introspection. The Fool isn't necessarily withdrawing from life. It's not saying no to a decision, and that's a decision too, right? But it's saying maybe I need more information first. Not information coming from outside. There's no Hierophant here. I need more information from my soul, right? I have to check in with Spirit and see what I really feel is right for me at this moment. Okay. So the Two of Swords is not an intellectual decision. You're not doing the math. Maybe you do have a pros and cons list, and that's going to help you. That's one piece of data. But these two cards are very much talking about intuition, about checking in with Spirit, checking in with your own inner light, your own inner lamp, to make this decision, to choose this path in life. And maybe it's not that obvious of a decision, right? Maybe there's not like, oh, the classes start in a week, I've got to decide what I'm going to do. No, maybe it's just kind of a general split in your desires for life. See, I call these readings life readings. Okay? It's not a romance reading. It's not a career reading. It's not a school reading. It's not a health reading. It's a life reading. So this energy can apply anywhere or everywhere or nowhere. And what I mean is, you might be acutely aware of, yes, there's literally, something coming up that I have to decide if I'm going to commit to it or if I'm going to go do something else for the year, right? Take a gap year or something. Go travel. It could be very obvious in that way, right? It could be this general feeling that you have of, I've got to make a decision for my life. Maybe you have been a little bit of the wandering fool, collecting experience, right? Nothing wrong with this energy. This energy is longed for by millions of people, right? We all have a little bit of wanderlust in us. And maybe you have been either feeling this more strongly lately, or this is how your life has kind of felt for a little while, right? But now there's this feeling of, do things need to change? Right? So it could be more ubiquitous. It could be more diffuse than an acutely perceived dichotomy, right, of choices. But we do have that Two of Pentacles back here. So I feel like in the Libra mind, this is kind of two distinct things that you're weighing. Which way do I need to take my life? Maybe it's a bunch of little decisions. Maybe it's just kind of we're starting to reevaluate. Because sometimes the Two of Pentacles is about reevaluating things. Right? Comparing apples and oranges, kind of, even though you can't really do it, you got to. You got to see which one is the best for you right now. I guess I like apples more than oranges, but I like bananas the least, oddly enough. Although I do like the artificial banana flavor, so it's kind of strange, I like banana milkshakes too. Just FYI there. We're trying to figure out, I think, with this, why we feel this need for change. Maybe. You're already in this kind of commitment. Maybe you're already in something that is full-time, but you're starting to feel this wanderlust a little bit, right? And maybe the magician here wants to go and learn some new skills. Maybe these two energies can work together. Maybe the Ten of Wands, for some of you, is this feeling of diminishing independence, perhaps. We dare say codependence, when what we want is interdependence. Okay? And with the two wands right out in front on this Ten of Wands card, maybe we see the alliance of the magician and the fool, right? The fool, add a little magician energy, you kind of have a sage here, Maybe we should do an I Ching reading for this one. Not to mention we've got this hermit. The hermit is the wisdom. It is the sage, right? And maybe it's these two that create the real fluid, adaptable, flexible Mercury energy. The magician that can perform equally well in a crowded room or, in a private venue. Can be alone or can be with the masses, right? And that's kind of the difference between the fool and the hermit. The fool wants to be out in society, mingling with literally every energy that's out there in the universe, and the hermit does not want that. The hermit wants to just kind of stay home and look internally. And the fool, there's no difference between internal and external. It's all just existence. And so in some way, it all exists out there. If the fool is that infinite small point, right? Infinitesimal small point of consciousness, everything is outside of it, right? Everything is out there for me to experience. So maybe the I Ching will help us. And maybe it is a blending of the fool and the hermit that brings us the very fluid Mercury, right? That can go to any situation, that can adapt to anything, that can commit to this for a while and, see how it goes. Spend a year doing that thing and then do something else if you feel like it, if that's what you're drawn to, if that's what spirit tells you, Committing to something for any amount of time isn't going to change you. And that's the message of Mercury there. The magician, even through all of these illusions, still remains that pure wisdom, the pure spirit. Yeah, the pure consciousness. Let's do one I Ching hexagram for this energy. Small taming, creating success, dense clouds without rain come from our Western altars. Small taming. It's a time of restraint, and that brings great hope for future growth and success, but it may feel more like frustration and setbacks where things don't quite work yet. You must cultivate the situation and yourself in small ways, caring for the details, developing your readiness and fitness conscientiously. What small thing can you work on today? How can you cultivate a better terrain? Interesting. Time of restraint. Well, maybe we feel the restraint of this 10 of Wands, right? Maybe we feel that we're carrying a great burden. Maybe this is a full-time workload, a full-time school load. Maybe this is a full-time kind of commitment to your partner, to your home, your life, your responsibilities, right? All of them together. And maybe it does feel a little overwhelming. Well, what we see with the Four of Wands over here is just that, the caring for the details, right? This is the small things that we can work on. Yeah. Well, let's keep this in mind. Let's keep the small taming in line there, because it feels to me that it is it's a current situation that we're feeling is a little bit restrictive. And maybe we do have this Fool energy kind of welling up inside of us that wants to experience more. Okay. Let's look over here at the path of the serpent. And as we go over here, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Right? It's totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. And leave some comments for me. I really do enjoy hearing from all of you. Now, the Six of Pentacles that we have here. This is the idea of a harmonious life. It's not so, it doesn't feel like a burden like the 10 of Wands does. Right? So maybe the idea here with the small taming is that we do have to take care of some of these small things so that we can establish a little more harmony in our energy. Yeah. And I think if we can, maybe it's a simplification, maybe it's just checking some things off of your checklist so that you don't feel so overwhelmed, and then we can see what the right path forward will be. Right? I like that we've got the Chariot next, because the I Ching message here says cultivate the situation and yourself in small ways. Cultivating the situation, creating the harmony, cultivating it, pruning it back, trimming off the excess. If it feels as if you're carrying this heavy, heavy burden, lighten the load a little bit. Right? Maybe we can blend together this hermit, this fool, and this magician energy. And maybe the way we do that is by getting rid of stuff that is just kind of adding to our burden but isn't absolutely necessary right now. Right? Let's economize. Let's streamline. Let's go a little bit lean with it. Right? So it says cultivate the situation. Cultivate yourself. Developing your readiness and fitness. That is really an exact description of the Chariot energy. The cultivation, the readiness, the fitness. The Chariot very often represents a restoration of health and fitness in a very literal way. But I think with the I Ching, this is allowing our physical body, but our mental, emotional, and our spiritual, our body of light, essentially, our consciousness, to re-energize, to revitalize. And maybe this is the way that we move forward. Maybe we do have to trim some of the excess off of the circumstances, our responsibilities, the path of the dove stuff. And that way we will be ready for this journey, whether this is still yet another commitment that you have to make. Maybe you're in an apartment or something, and the lease is coming up. You kind of got to know, well, do I sign another lease, or for like another year lease, or do I move? Yeah. And maybe there is this desire to move. Maybe we really want, especially the Fool and the Chariot. I mean, this is a readiness and a real spirit of adventure. We're ready to go. But maybe with that Ten of Wands, there's just no way that I can do that right now. There's just too much in my life. Responsibilities, commitments. My life is too busy. There's just too much wrapped up in this current apartment. That even though I want to move and I want to go travel or explore, do something else, maybe you feel stuck. Right? Maybe you feel like you can't really move right now, even though there's this desire to. So developing our readiness and our fitness, I think, is asking ourselves and coming to the realization, opening up that magician energy, what do I need in order to pull this off? What has to happen so that I can do what my spirit kind of wants? I feel like the Fool is kind of this is like your Holy Spirit that's just trying to get out. And I think that this is figuring out the best way, plotting the right course. Okay, what has to happen to get you ready to go? Do you need to trim some responsibilities off your life? Do you need to tighten your budget up a little bit? Do you need to put some money aside? Do you need to have a conversation with someone? Right? Do you need to tell your family? Do you need to tell the school? Do you have to put in some paperwork in order to take that year off? Or, whatever it is. How can you prepare for this? It's almost a card that says you got to start packing. Right? Whenever I move, my wife and I, we've moved once anyway. I like to start packing months and months ahead. I like throwing stuff out. I'm kind of a minimalist. I like throwing stuff out. I like putting stuff in boxes. I like spending the last couple of months sitting on the floor eating a cup of noodles with everything in boxes. I kind of over-prepare. You don't have to go to that extreme, but it gives you the idea that there's a lot more calmness and relaxation once you know that a lot of it's already done, that a lot of the preparation is already taken care of. It's like in cooking, you got to have your mise en place, right? You got to have everything there, and then you can just kind of enjoy that kind of the quiet moment, which is the small taming, the dense clouds without rain, right? It's just about to rain. Enjoy that moment just before the sky opens up and everything starts rolling. Yeah. So I think by taking care of all these little things, what can you take care of right now that will free your life up, free your soul up a little bit, that maybe you can make this decision or feel kind of drawn toward the right direction here? Yeah. I see this Four of Wands in the difficult position. This is the position of what you don't want. And maybe you have a difficult time taking care of the small stuff. Maybe it is the literally the small things that kind of start piling up. You're focused on big picture stuff. Maybe these kind of day-to-day things don't really get the attention that they need. Perhaps this is the difficulty, switching focus to these little things. The things that you can check off your list right now. Yeah. All the things that need to happen in order for you to get either the clarity, the certainty, the intuition on which direction to go, or that kind of opens up the direction that you really want to go. You got to make that list in kind of the reverse order of the the large S of the task. Complete the simple stuff first, the easiest stuff. Get them out of the way, And I think that really is going to free up a lot of energy. Next thing we've got is that Knight of Wands. Now, this is fire on fire. This is a lot of active energy. This is kind of like an Aries energy that is just, it can go, right? Can hit the gas. When the time comes, you're prepared, you've got all the little things done. Now it's just time for that big move, right? The big project. Now it's time to tackle that. Well, you have all this energy to do it because you already got that little stuff done. You know. So I think this is going to be very good for you. I think you're going to be very happy. I think that this is an opportunity for you to simplify and streamline your consciousness, really, and pick the direction that means the most to you. And don't worry that what you really want to do is impossible, because there's just too much life. There's just too much going on. I don't have time, I don't have energy. Don't worry about that. We can fix that. Right? Choose the direction that has the most meaning for you. Where does this fool with this wisdom, right, this absolute sage, because remember, we're blending these two together, the magician and the fool. I like to shake the cards like we're in an iPhone here. We're blending these two together to choose a direction based on the spirit, based on intuition, based on what you really believe, your fool energy and your magician energy, your wisdom and your folly, right? And your wanderlust in a way, your instinct and intuition, kind of. Yeah. I think you're going to be very happy. I think this is going to be a bit of a change for you. It is a shift. And I think with the Two of Pentacles here, I think you're looking for a change. I think you are looking to change whatever circumstance you have now, which to me feels like it might be a current commitment that seems to be limiting your freedom of being, right? Your freedom of expression. It seems to be perhaps weighing heavily on your soul right now. Let's look at the mystery card. Where is it? Here it is. If you have an idea of what this card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. I want to see maybe an eight. Well, no, we don't need an Ace of Wands. We've got the Knight of Wands there already. I want to see some water energy. That's the one thing that we don't see here, is that water, those cups. Okay? And I think the reason why is because what you're doing now feels like an obligation. It feels like a weight. It feels like a responsibility. But maybe you're wondering too, where's the water? Right? Where's the love? Where's the community? Where's the family? Where's the pleasure in this? And having the Chariot card in the position of your environment, I think shows that you are really in search of, you're very much in search of this sense of home and family and finding where you belong, not in this kind of weighed down situation. Well, let's turn this mystery card over. I'm thinking water energy. It's got to be, right? Well, let's take a look. 10 of Wands. Well, we're not there yet. We're not at the water energy yet. But the 10 of Wands is not a bad confirmation card to get. And on the one hand, it confirms what we're talking about here with this initial 10 of Wands, in that we've got too much responsibility. Maybe we're committed to something, overcommitted, right? We're committed to something. We're in a situation now that is preventing us from really exploring our spiritual energies and getting the kind of love and family and home that we want. Now, the 10 of Wands here has a bit of a different picture, because this is emphasizing not the codependence or the interdependence, but the independence. This is one person carrying all the load, carrying the entire burden. And this might be actually the lighter of the loads, right? Because if we can streamline, if we can find a way to check these little things off our list to kind of get ready for this big event, well, then this is the big event, and we're carrying it, right? We're not really struggling with it. And we're not looking where we're going. We know where we're going. I don't need to look. right? You're being led. You're feeling it. Your soul is guiding you there. You don't need to, you don't need a map. You don't need a compass. You don't need to look and ask for directions. You're just going. You also don't need any help, right? So I think you're finding the happiness that you want. You're creating it. You're doing it, but you're making a decision to perhaps get away from a current situation and do this new thing. Maybe it is a recommitment. Maybe this card it's another 10 of Wands because you're leaving one commitment, and this magician, as fluid and as adaptable as it is committing to something else that is more meaningful to you in search of this water energy, you know? So I think you're going to be very happy. I think this is a very good message for you. And we're going to do an extended reading. If you'd like to stick around, click on the link in the corner. That'll give you access to all of the extended readings, not just for Libra, but for every sign. Okay. I'm here every day from 6 to 8 a.m. Chicago time. Please come back tomorrow and see me again. If you want just the Libra readings, they're on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Okay. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Totally free. Costs you nothing. Yeah. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you, and I love you, and we're all in this together.